Hey friends, so here we are for the next chapter of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. When we left off at the end of chapter 20, Mr. Wonka had just shown this fabulous and sensational gum that never loses its flavor, never goes bad, and we know somebody is going to be very, very interested in that. Because we know chapter 21 is titled Goodbye, Violet. I have a feeling something like what happened to Augustus is going to happen to her. Let's read to find out. This gum, Mr. Wonka went on, is my latest, my greatest, and my most fascinating invention. It's a chewing gum meal. It's a tiny little strip of gum lying there. It's a whole 3-course dinner by itself. What sort of nonsense is this? Said one of the fathers. My dear sir, cried Mr. Wonka, when I start selling this gum in the shops, it will change everything. It will be the end of all kitchens and all cooking. There will be no more marketing to do, no more buying meat or groceries. There'll be no knives and forks at mealtimes, no plates, no washing up, no garbage, no mess. Just a little strip of Wonka's magic chewing gum, and that's all you'll ever need at breakfast, lunch, and supper. This piece of gum I've just made happens to be tomato soup, roast beef, and blueberry pie. But you can have almost anything you want. What do you mean it's tomato soup, roast beef, and blueberry pie? Said Violet Beauregard. If you were to start chewing it, said Mr. Wonka, then that is exactly what you would get on the menu. It's absolutely amazing. You can feel it, the food going down your throat and into your tummy. And you can taste it perfectly, and it fills you up. It satisfies you. It's terrific. It's utterly impossible, said Veruca Salt. Just so long as it's gum, shouted Violet Beauregard. Just so long as it's a piece of gum I can chew it, then that's for me. And quickly she took her own world record speed of chewing gum out of her mouth, stuck it behind her ear. Come on, Mr. Wonka, she said, hand over this magic gum of yours. We'll see if this thing works. Now, Violet, said Mrs. Beauregard, her mother, let's not do anything silly, Violet. I want the gum, Violet said. Violet said, what's so silly? I would rather you didn't take it, Mr. Wonka told her gently. You see, I haven't got it quite right yet. There are still 1 or 2 things. Oh, to heck with that, said Violet. And suddenly, before Mr. Wonka could stop her, she shot out a fat hand and grabbed a stick of gum at once and popped it in her mouth. Her well-trained jaw started chewing away on it like a pair of tongs. Don't, said Mr. Wonka. Fabulous, shouted Violet. It's tomato soup. It's hot, it's creamy and delicious. I can feel it running down my throat. Stop, said Mr. Wonka. The gum isn't ready yet. It's not right. Of course it's right, said Violet. It's working beautifully. Oh my, what lovely soup it is. Spit it out, said Mr. Wonka. It's changing, shouted Violet, chewing and grinning at both at the same time. The second course is coming up. It's roast beef. It's tender and juicy. Oh boy, what a flavor. The baked potato is marvelous too. It's got crispy skin and it's filled with butter inside. But how interesting, Violet, said Mrs. Beauregard. You are a clever girl. Keep chewing, kiddo, said Mr. Beauregard. Keep right on chewing, baby. This is a great day for the Beauregards. Our little girl is the first person in the world to have a chewing gum meal. Everybody was watching Violet Beauregard as she stood there, chewing this extraordinary gum. Little Charlie Bucket was staring at her absolutely spellbound, watching her huge rubbery lips press up and down as she chewed. And Grandpa Joe stood beside him gaping at the girl like, Mr. Wonka was wringing his hands and saying, No, it isn't ready for eating. It isn't right. You mustn't do it. Blueberry pie and cream, shouted Violet. Here it comes. Oh my, it's perfect. It's beautiful. It's exactly as though I'm swallowing it. It's as though I'm chewing and swallowing great big spoonfuls of the most marvelous blueberry pie in the world. Good heavens, girl, shrieked Mrs. Beauregard, suddenly staring at Violet. What's happening to your nose? Oh, be quiet, Mother, and let me finish, said Violet. It's turning blue, screamed Mrs. Beauregard. Your nose is turning blue as a blueberry. Your mother is right, shouted Mr. Beauregard. Your whole nose has gone purple. "Oh boy, what do you mean?" said Violet, still chewing away. "Your cheeks!" screamed Mrs. Beauregard. "They're turning blue as well. So is your chin. Your whole face is turning blue." "Spit that gum out at once," ordered Mr. Beauregard. "Mercy save us!" yelled Mrs. Beauregard. "This girl's going blue and purple all over. Even her hair is changing color. Violet, you're turning violet. Violet, what is happening to you?" "I told you I hadn't gotten it quite right," said Mr. Wonka, shaking his head sadly. "I'll say you haven't," cried Mrs. Beauregard. "Just look at the girl now." Everybody was staring at Violet, and what a terrible, peculiar sight she was. Her face and hands and legs, in fact the skin all over her body, as well as her great big mop of curly hair, had turned a brilliant purplish blue, the color of blueberry juice. "It always goes wrong when we come to the dessert," sighed Mr. Wonka. "It's the blueberry pie that does it. But one day I'll get it right. You wait and see." "Violet," screamed Mrs. Beauregard, "you're swelling up." "I feel sick," Violet said. "You're swelling up," screamed Mrs. Beauregard again. "I feel most peculiar," gasped Violet. "I'm not surprised," said Mr. Beauregard. "Great heavens, girl," screeched Mrs. Beauregard. "You're blowing up like a balloon." "Like a blueberry," said Mr. Wonka. "Call a doctor," shouted Mr. Beauregard. "Prick her with the pin," said one of the other fathers. "Save her," cried Mrs. Beauregard, wringing her hands. But there was no saving her now. Her body was swelling up and changing shape at a rate that 1 minute had turned into nothing less than an enormous, round, blue ball. A gigantic blueberry, in fact. And all that remained of Violet Beauregard herself was a tiny pair of legs and a tiny pair of arms sticking out of the great round fruit and a little head on top. "There she is, oh boy." "It always happens like that," sighed Mr. Wonka. "I've tried it 20 times in the testing room on 20 Oompa Loompas, and every one of them finished up as a blueberry. It's most annoying, I just can't understand it." "But I don't want a blueberry for a daughter," yelled Mrs. Beauregard. "Put her back this instant." Mr. Wonka clicked his fingers, and 10 Oompa Loompas appeared immediately at his side. "Roll Miss Beauregard into the boat," he said at once then, "and take her to the juicing room at once." "The juicing room?" cried Mrs. Beauregard. "What are they going to do to her there?" "Squeeze her," said Mr. Wonka. "We've got to squeeze the juice out of her immediately. After that, we'll just have to see how she comes out. But don't worry, my dear Mrs. Beauregard. We'll get her repaired if it's the last thing we do. I am sorry about it all. I really am." Already the 10 Oompa Loompas were rolling the enormous blueberry across the floor of the inventing room toward the door that led to the chocolate river where the boat was waiting. Mr. and Mrs. Beauregard hurried after them. The rest of the party, including little Charlie Bucket and Grandpa Joe, stood absolutely still and watched them go. "Listen," whispered Charlie. "Listen, Grandpa. The Oompa Loompas in the boat outside are starting to sing." The voices, 100 of them singing together, came loud and clear.
Listen close, listen hard. Little Violet Beauregard, this little girl, she sings the word. Chewing, 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 chewing. Chewing, chewing, all day long. Chewing, chewing, all day long. Chewing, chewing, all day long. Those are chewing, chewing fast. Chewing muscles grow so fast. From the face are trying to chew. Sounds just like a violet. Chewing, chewing, all day long. Chewing, chewing, all day long. Chewing, chewing, all day long. For years and years she chews away. Her claws get stronger every day. With one great tremendous chew, they fight the poor girls from That is why we try so hard. Said Miss Violet, chewing, chewing all along, chewing, chewing all along, chewing, 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 chewing all along.
All right, so there we have our Goodbye Violet, where it comes back to the name of the chapter. They had to roll her out because she looks like a blueberry. She had eaten Mr. Wonka's gum when she wasn't supposed to. She did not listen to him either. And that's what happened to her. So hopefully they can fix her by juicing her. Oh goodness. The next chapter in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is titled Along the Corridor. So I have to see what kind of shenanigans happens next. So crazy. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.